That's not how the Force works.
I don't care!
Put a chicken in and make her name it gay!
I like to get into a vibe. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we'll get into it. We'll discuss it all. You know, the truth is, it sort of is what it is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Look, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie. There's one scene that sticks out, and it probably sticks out for everybody, which is that, you know, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Oh, that looked really weird. I don't know how that came in. How you all doing? Welcome to Casual Rage 236, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. And this week, we've got a little bit more Stargate news. I've been tracking that more than anything else, to be fair. Been sort of paying more attention to it because I just want to know more and more about what's actually happening, where we're, you know, continuing the story, where things are coming in. Kind of really excited about that. We do have a little bit of Star Wars news, but there's nothing major. There's no, like, announcements or anything like that. It's just some of the basic stuff that's been happening, and we've got a question to ask at the end of it for all of you. We've got, I'm a little bit annoyed with the Supergirl trailer. And hearing now about the Doomsday trailer. I thought that we were getting the Supergirl trailer today, and it's me being stupid me, because they said that we're getting a trailer on Thursday, and I didn't take into consideration the time zones. Obviously, it's Thursday for America. So it's Friday for us. So the trailer drops tomorrow. And the most annoying thing about the whole thing for me right now is there's going to be the Supergirl trailer and the Doomsday trailer dropping tomorrow, apparently. And we're missing Casual Rage, so we're not going to be able to talk about it for a whole week. I'm gonna do some videos tomorrow after I finish work. I'm gonna have to just do a reaction to both of them, because also too this weekend Flashcast, I'm not going to be on Flashcast, or at least I won't be there for the majority of it. I might be able to get on in the tail end of it. But then, like, the opportunity to talk about those things goes, because, you know, obviously we're not going to talk about it again on Flashcast the following week unless there's some massively controversial thing about it. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to do a couple of videos, being that they're dropping tomorrow. They'll probably drop while I'm at work. So once I finish work, get home, I got to not play RDR2. Let's see who we've got here in the chat. How y'all doing? We've got Nitrium. So did you get your digital ID, or is Australia still letting you use YouTube without it due to rollout issues? So I don't know exactly what the situation is. I was talking about this a little bit while I was streaming last night playing RDR2. I don't know with YouTube X, because I'm verified on X. So obviously I've had to do like the verification steps, ID, all of that sort of thing. So I'm wondering whether or not, because I've already submitted that, whether or not they can just drag that information and use that information. The thing that'll happen though is the fact that you've got to do it through like the MyGov account or whatever and set the digital ID actually up. Because on the 27th, it rolls out even more. Like, they're doing it in stages. So we'll have to see what happens now after the 27th, because that's when Google gets affected by it, apparently. Apparently, Reddit is trying to sue or counter the claims that they need to do this. And this is where I reckon it becomes challenging, because most of the media giants out there, the social media giants out there, or whatever you want to call them, international like companies. None of them are owned in Australia. So how do you apply Australian law? You've got to apply Australian law to the citizens using it, but you can't apply Australian law to the companies. I don't know how that works. But just in the fact, let me say this, just in the fact that apparently under 16s are not allowed to have a Facebook, an Instagram, a Twitter, an X, be able to use YouTube without being over the age of 16 and obviously verifying their age once they are over the age of 16, but they're allowed to have a Blue Sky account. Like that, just that alone tells you that there's no conspiracy here. When people say that this is so that you can push the narrative the way that you want to push the narrative and everything. It's insane. Like, the blatant, overtly, like, in your face that they're showing you, like, while calling you a conspiracy theorist, they're showing you that your conspiracies are actually, like, valid. There's a valid reason to be afraid of this thing, because this is going to be the result of it. Or it could result in that. It's just, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be this continuous rollout thing, and who knows? I'm just not doing it. And like, I saw a video, like somebody like criticizing the people that are saying, don't comply, don't comply, don't comply. And he's like, what are you not complying to? Like, if you can reply to this post, it's like, dude, it's the underlying factor of it. Like, they're already now starting to talk about the digital currency stuff. Like, how do they control that? You see it coming a mile away. We're in such a fast-paced age of news and things happening at such a fast pace that you can already see the next steps. And if you're blind to that, then that's on you. Tillium, how you doing? Good to see you. Trev, dude, it's all right, man. He says, happy birthday. I know it isn't your birthday anymore. I am so extremely sorry. Well, that I stuttered my way through that. That I didn't tell you happy birthday on your birthday, but I had to tell you happy birthday. So happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Butcher, I don't know. Like, I opened that up, and because on my StreamYard, it cut off, it just said 2. It didn't say butts. It's like, I'd have to show you what I meant by that. But like, I opened that up and I looked at it before I started the stream. I'm like, are they like, is that an emoji of 2 people butt fucking? Like, is that what that is? Or is that 2 heads kissing? Is that what that's supposed to be? Like, what is that emoji? Chat, what is that emoji? It's kind of funny. Doomsday would turn Supergirl into Vegemite spread. I'm not so like sure and confident on Doomsday, to be honest with you. To be completely fair, I don't know. I hate these ads, man. It's so fucking annoying. LOL, sick intro. I've had that intro for so long, and the funny thing is that the music now, like, it used to be like a purchased music, but like the membership or whatever, the subscription for it lapsed. So I actually get copyright claimed on every stream I do. It's not a strike, it's just a claim. They claim the money for the stream, which is kind of annoying because I like the intro, but I want to get rid of the music that's over it. More Stargate news. Dude, we're going to watch Dial the Gates interview with Martin Gero. Is that Gero? Is that how you say his name? Basically the showrunner for this thing. Sorry, I've got to put my work phone. Anyway, I got to put something on silent. Do not disturb. All right. Sorry. Google and YouTube should sue all govs. I don't really think it's that easy. And that's not to say that Google and YouTube aren't corrupt in themselves. Like, it's a game. It's a game, and we're all just these little pawns within their game. Insert username, how you doing? I refuse. Just say insert funny handle. Refuse. Fear of Female, how you doing? Good or bad Stargate news? My heart can't take much more modern Hollywood. Well, look, to be fair, I haven't watched it, so I don't know. I know that Nina and Anna watched the full stream. I think they broke down the full stream. I'm just going to watch one of the clips from it, which goes for, we'll watch this at the end though. It goes for about half an hour, 29 minutes. And it actually says, reveals timeline for new show. So we'll see. That's like, I just want to get more information. I want to know what galaxy we were in. I want to know, like, I don't need to know full on details. I want to know that we've got a good enemy. And I feel like they could bring back the Gould. They certainly could. One could come out of stasis, hibernation, one of those canisters, go into hiding, try and build an army, go to a different galaxy, try and build an army, something, it's not outside the realms of possibility to do that. Their technology would have to find some more advanced technology. Otherwise, with the ancient gene that fucking SGC have and the weapons that they have at their disposal, if a Gould was to come out, even at the fucking height of why do I always blank on his name? The Gould that's half Gould, half ascended being. I always go Apophis, but it's not obviously Apophis. It's oh man. Because well, I can't remember his name, but even when he came to Earth with his entire fleet, fucking Jack was able to take him out. Anubis, thank you. Fuck, man. It was like eating me inside that I couldn't think of it. And I always get it mixed up. Yes, Anubis. So like, yeah, even when Anubis attacks, fucking Jack takes him out with ancient weapons, but it is just one outpost. Now, obviously, I know there's spoilers, but it's fucking ancient. This fucking show, like, go and watch it if you haven't watched it. I can't stress enough how much, like, if you were ever a Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan, and never watched Stargate, any of these sort of sci-fi, shows that sort of are kind of really popular, and you never watched Stargate, get into it. Again, I'm hyping it up now because I feel like I've seen enough to know that this is going to be handled correctly. And I keep coming back to Amazon and where they are with what they do with some of the things that they're involved with. But the one thing that's keeping me on board with it is the people that are involved. I don't believe that these people that have been involved in Stargate for as long as they have are going to be okay with the studio meddling that we talk about with other franchises. I just don't think, I don't know. I could be wrong. And I could be putting myself right up there for disappointment all over again. But this is what I was saying. Like, if they're going to bring in like a Gould, they need to find better technology because fucking Jack was able to take out Anubis's entire fleet and his massive ship with just a small outpost of ancient weapons. So I don't know. This is the other thing too, is I still haven't watched all of Atlantis and I still haven't watched any of Universe to know where we've evolved to in regards to who are the enemies, like all of that sort of thing. Like, are the Ori still a thing? By the end of Atlantis, are the Ori still an enemy? Don't answer that in the chat, like, but you get what I mean. I don't know where we are in the universe, so I actually need to catch up. Especially being that this is going to be a continuation. We talking Stargate? Yeah, we're talking Stargate. How you doing? Oh, excuse me. I've only watched SG1 and maybe 3 episodes of Atlantis. Okay, so where I'm at, I've watched obviously the movie, the original movie, just Stargate. I don't know how many times, countless times. I love the movie. And then I've watched SG1. I'm on my 4th watch through right now. I'm at the beginning of basically season 8. I've watched, I think, like, there's, how many seasons of Atlantis is there? Is it 4 or 5? How many seasons? 5 seasons. I think I've watched like 2.5, maybe 3 seasons So I'm like basically halfway through that. And then I've watched the other two movies that are after SG1 a couple of times. The thing is with those movies is that the graphics, and it's the same thing for SG1 in some parts. Like you feel like they're a little bit too small a set that they're on or something like that. They do have their issues in regards to just, but the story's good enough. They're like everything's really good. It's just you can tell that they didn't have like a massive budget back in the day when these were being made. They did really good with what they had. Really good with what they had. And then you can see, actually, when you're watching SG1, you can almost see the times where they got a little bump in budget. Like I was even sitting with a mate, and I'm like, man, this season, can you see the improvement from last season to this season? And we'll watch, like, let's say the last episode of season 3 of SG1 and then go straight into the first episode of season 4. And you can almost immediately notice the difference in like the budget that they got for that season or whatever. Now, that could just be me. I don't know whether or not they did get a boost in budget, but definitely by the time you get to like Atlantis and Universe and stuff, the effects and everything look good. But I guess you've got to think that we're 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years in at that point from when it first came out. But yeah, so I haven't watched any of Universe. So Universe ending was left open. Well, I guess that's a good thing. It wouldn't have necessarily been a good thing if they would never have continued the story. And they probably did continue the story a bit like how Star Wars did, right? They've got books, they've got novels, they've actually got book writers that you know, understand the universe that they're writing in. A bit like what Star Wars used to have. Isn't that so disappointing? And this is what I'm saying is like Stargate is the I think the last one on the list now that I've really just, I want to almost protect it. I don't know how I can protect it. And I don't know if it really does need protecting. There's elements, like I said, of it. I don't know. Amazon could screw the whole thing up. But hopefully, the people that are actually involved in it don't let that happen. That's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. They could. But yeah, so we do have a nice short little video that we can actually watch. And I'm going to keep paying attention to Dial the Gate and some of these other guys because they speak to a lot of the people that are involved in it. So this is where we're going to get hopefully the best news in regards to what's happening with this Stargate show. And even Anna was on with is his name Daniel? I can't. I'm sorry, David. I can't remember now, and I'm probably like it's probably even just here. David. Yeah. So she was on with him. So funny. She was nervous, and I'm like, I messaged. We were talking. I'm like, why were you nervous? She's like, I was nervous, and then like he brought on one of her favorite characters, like surprised her. And she got all like shy. It's kind of funny. That dude is ride or die. Yeah. Yep. And that's what you want. And the fact that the people that are talking, that he's talking to, like, are just being really honest with him. What's happened here? Is everyone still here? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. man, I just had a massive, like, I don't know, everything's just sort of like froze. Like everything froze. And then like my view count like plummeted to like 1. And then everything sort of just like flickered back to life. Okay, so the chat's still moving now. All right. Dude, that was really strange. Really weird. Everyone's saying, I'm here, I'm here. Well, thank you for being here. All right. Let's get into some of the shit that we got to talk about. And honestly, no, it's so funny. Normally I'll leave like the Star Wars stuff to the end. We're gonna blast through the Star Wars crap because there's not really that much. And it's not really news, to be honest with you. Like I was actually I was just searching. Let me just bring this up really quickly. I don't think I need any audio for any of this. So yeah, I was just doing an Ahsoka season 2. I was checking because I was looking for that. What's her name? Is it Gloria Black or something? Am I getting that right? With the pay dispute thing, like that's where we're at. So like, I don't know when they're going to start ramping up Mandalorian and Grogu stuff. It's going to have to start coming soon. Because that's due in Claudia Black. Did I just say that right? When's that due? G'day, Mike Hill. How you doing? I swear, I keep looking this up like nearly every fucking week. Oh. And I searched Ahsoka. I don't want to know about Ahsoka. I want Mando and Grogu. May. Okay. Sorry. I was thinking for a second then that it was going to be March. And I was confusing myself because I was thinking, okay, well, if it's March, then you would think that they're going to start like releasing a trailer in like December. You would think now. No. So we got to expect some sort of the ramping up of promotion to probably happen coming January. Maybe late January moving into February. You'd expect the Mandalorian and Grogu stuff to start ramping up. Oh, man, that is going to be the most interesting thing out of all of it. But then you've got, obviously, Ahsoka Season 2, which, again, I don't think too many people care about. In fact, I know there's not a lot of people that care about it. The only people that do care about it are the seal clappers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with both of these things this year. I saw some report that there's a rumor going around that they're retconning fucking the sequels or something again. I don't know. How ridiculous. G'day, Mud Crab. But yeah, so the pay dispute. I mean, the character that she played, the Witch of Dathomir, you can recast anyone in that role, can't you? She should just go back to Stargate now that they're coming back with Stargate. I ended up liking her character in Stargate. She was very flirty, though. True. It's probably why most people did like her. I saw this and I thought, how funny is this? if this, like, I don't know where the quote is coming from. This could be a quote from like ages ago, but just being that it just recently popped up, December 11th. Here we go. Is it? So she does offer a full new update. Worth the wait. I'm pretty sure she's used that before, that it's going to be worth the wait. Honestly, there are scripts, multiple scripts that I read 5 years ago. Oh, man, I would probably need to read through that. And I'm too retarded to do that right this second. And that's, I didn't really want to go into that. I mainly just wanted to say how funny this is that we've already been waiting. Is it 3 years? Technically, it's 2, right? Wasn't it Star Wars Celebration 2023? And it was like, was it around mid-year or was it more closer to like October? I can't remember exactly. It was definitely closer to the tail end of the year, I think, because that's when Charmin Obaid-Chinoy made her stance in the history of Star Wars Disney Star Wars fuck ups. The wait will be worth it, she says. I hope so. I actually kind of still hope that they do this. And this is where, like, I've got to go to this. I know that within some of the people that I like on the internet, when it comes to Star Wars, some of the commentators and all the people within different groups of the fan base, Script Trooper asked this question: is it savable? And my answer is no. It's not. I'm almost at the point now where under no circumstances could this thing be saved. Because I don't think, even if, let's say, Disney, on the massive stretch that Disney sells Lucasfilm, the people that are buying Star Wars now, if they were to do that, are now inheriting that fan base and that Star Wars. Now, the real Star Wars people will be paying attention to that, but I don't know, with how the push of how these people push what they want, right? And the studios listen more to the retards than they do to the actual fans of these things. It's just going to be more of like 50 Shades of Star Wars. Shipping and this and that. Look at what it's come down to. We get some shitty announcement from Adam Driver that he came up with a script for this Search for Ben Solo. And like that side of the fan base goes absolutely crazy and starts pointing the finger. This is why, without actually opening their eyes to the fact that, okay, yeah, maybe he's got a point in saying, I don't see how this character's alive. Maybe we shouldn't do it. Oh, yeah, it meant something. They just want to bring him back so that they can fucking have their fucking ship with Rey. Their Reylo crap. And that's also evident by the fact that the same side of the fan base did when it came to The Acolyte. Because all that show was essentially 50 Shades of Star Wars. Well, that's the other crazy thing too, is that he shouldn't even be a Force ghost. No, the answer to your question, Script Trooper, and I'm only like sometimes Script Trooper's watching. The answer to your question, Script Trooper, is no. No. And this is the other thing too, is they would have to, for me to change my mind on that and to give them any little bit of a percentage of a chance that, yes, they can turn the corner and make things better again, is like doing the whole clean out of, like, even if, let's say, Disney was to retain the rights and retain the ownership of Star Wars, and they cleaned out like everyone, like writer's room, fucking Dave Filoni, fucking Kathleen Kennedy, and they just started inserting people. I'd be paying attention to those people that they're inserting, to the people that are being put in, to their understanding and their knowledge of the universe, and if they don't necessarily have a big understanding, their willingness to learn and understand, and wants to learn and understand and get to know the universe. That's key. You don't have to be a massive fan of something to be able to do something like Star Wars, but you at least need to know the basics and at least need to have the fundamentals of what you're actually dealing with within that galaxy, within that universe, within that IP. The laws, the canon, the continuity, you've got to have at least a basic understanding of that. And if you don't, you need to, and you want to make sure that you're doing it right, you at least need to make sure that you do have somebody there that can actually say with definitive answers on why it would be okay or not okay to do something, let's say, that you wanted to do with a Force ability or this or that. But see, that's where Disney Star Wars, there are no boundaries on that anymore. And no bigger than actually Ahsoka. No bigger than Ahsoka, to be honest with you. Ahsoka now has the Force Echo ability. Like a very, very rare ability. In fact, when it comes to it, like, you know, it used to be really cool that you used to be able to have some Jedi that used to be able to connect and use, like, get that connection with, like, animals, let's say. They were more proficient in being able to, you know, enter the will of an animal, calm them down, you know, actually control them if they needed to control them. Now, obviously, there are dark side abilities through that. In fact, a good example of that, as much as I don't like the series, is actually Ezra. And a good example of seeing that is Kanan can't necessarily do what Ezra can do with the wolves and all. It's a Dave Filoni thing, I understand. But at least there's some difference there. But now, no. Now you've got to be able to, if you are Force sensitive and you are able to use the Force in any way and be a Jedi or whatever, you can use every ability. Once you've unlocked it, you've unlocked it. And no more evident than Sabine in Ahsoka. She's being choked by a droid or fucking something. Fucking some dark trooper or whatever. I fucking don't know. And it's like, all right, if I don't do this, I'm dead. She can't even Force move a cup. Not that she ever had any, you know, evidence of being Force sensitive. But this is the thing. Everything that I've just mentioned needs to either be like completely retconned, changed, or deleted. You can't move forward with these things in place. There are things that don't match up with the laws and the abilities within the original trilogies and this and that. And there's even things within the EU that what they've done now can't actually match up with or anything like that. So you've got to, again, there's the separation of the two. Star Wars, for what Star Wars is, will always remain alive and well. It's a shame that the stories had to end the way that the stories end and where the stories have ended for people like, I know, Ryan and Lethal and stuff like that actually got to the end of these stories. We're waiting for the next thing to come out, and obviously the decanonization happens. You know, they then get burnt because they don't get conclusions to their stories. The things that they've loved, the things that they've maintained become nothing in an instant. So you can do a clean out of Lucasfilm and all of this kind of thing. It will do nothing until we get definitive answers and stuff like that. You know, it would almost have to come with a massive apology. Like, even if, let's say, they cleaned out Lucasfilm and they actually inserted some decent people and they started coming up with some stuff and people were looking at it and they're going, okay. Now, the first thing would have to be, all right, we're going to just push this to the side. We're like decanonizing. That is no longer canon. Everything that Disney has done. It would never happen. But I'm just saying, let's say it did happen. And we're going to move forward with these stories. It would have to be the expanded universe. They would have to reinstate the expanded universe for anyone to actually, I feel like, come back. And again, that answers the question. It's never going to happen. I could ramble on about this for fucking ever. Forever. But Star Wars is dead. Disney Star Wars killed it. And I think that that's going to be evident once we see what Mandalorian and Grogu does. I also think that it's going to be evident when we see how Ahsoka performs. Because I tell you what, no matter how people actually feel about what happened with Andor or anything like that, I don't think under any circumstances are we going to get to a point where Ahsoka Season 2 comes out and we have one of those situations. The only person that I feel like is going to possibly do the flip-flop, and this is my honest opinion, is Star Wars Theory. You know, I think that the EFAP crew and all of those guys are going to be very consistent with how they've been towards the criticisms of Dave Filoni's garbage. And the problem is that The Mandalorian and Grogu is Dave Filoni garbage, despite Jon Favreau's involvement with it. Because those two are two peas in the pod at the moment. So Star Wars is well and truly fucking dead. Soul Assassin, how you doing, dude? Did you hear the rumor of Filoni wanting to make Star Wars cartoons for the Far East if the films fail? Why? Because Visions is actually doing okay. Because Visions is doing all right. And probably doing well in the Far East. I don't know. I don't know the numbers. I'm not paying any attention to it. Wasn't it Visions that ripped off? No, it wasn't. Was it Visions that ripped off that fucking fan film thing? The choreography of that fight? What a joke that was, too. Did we talk about that last week? I can't remember. And then there's this, like, we're so far away from 2027 right now that I actually can't believe that this is sort of being reported as like news, I guess. But see, this is again where we kind of are with Star Wars right now. And this is the last thing. And then I'm getting off Star Wars. We're going to talk about some better shit than this. Like I said, I just wanted to get this out of the way. 2027 is going to be a huge year for Star Wars. Dude, are we just skipping 2026, even though you're going to have your first movie release in fucking, 7 years? Is that right? No. Yeah. It will be by the time it gets out because we fucking, it was 2019 when we had the Rise of Palpatine, right? February 19, newly restored version of Star Wars in theaters. I said restored, newly resorted. What does that mean? What does that mean? Look. Resorted. Version of Star Wars in theaters. Celebration in LA. What's that for? Oh, they're doing Star Wars Celebration in LA. What are they not doing a 2026 Star Wars Celebration? Okay, Geordie. Most of the hang on. Most of the year's releases. Every sort of version of Star Wars in theaters. Okay. I'm a little lost with that, to be fair. It's Disney Holocron. Yeah, it is. It is. Then from May 16th to May 27th, it's 27th, 25th, you've got the anniversary of Attack of the Clones, the 25th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. You've got what am I saying? That's so funny that I read it that way. So I said May 16th to the 25th, the anniversary. It's actually May 16th is the 25th anniversary. God damn. God, man. That's so funny. So yes, on May 16th, you got the 25th anniversary of Attack of the Clones. May 25th, and that's why I thought that, because it's Star Wars Day. You got the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. And then on May 28th, that's interesting actually, is Star Wars Starfighter. So that's the only actual thing that makes this interesting. Is this the first time they've announced a release date for Star Wars Starfighter? I'm more interested to know why. I am more interested to know why we have release dates, we have completed products, we have scripts, we have things that have been done for 2 Star Wars movies that were announced and everything after the 3 movie announcements at Star Wars Celebration in 2023. Yes, we are that old, Mudcrab. It's a little unfortunate. It's a little bit unfortunate. Do you see the problem there? Do you see the problem there? They announced Star Wars Starfighter a year ago? When did they announce Star Wars? When did they announce Starfighter? Because I know the fucking Mandalorian and Grogu, that was announced not long after the Star Wars Celebration, because again, they use that as a distraction from Charmin Obeid Chinoy. It's going to be another Ryan Johnson trilogy move. Stall, then announce it's cancelled. What, like everything that they announced it at 2023's celebration? So do you like? The craziest thing is, out of the 3 things that they announced at the 2023 Star Wars celebration, which was James Mangold's fucking Dawn of the Jedi or something, you had the Rey movie and you had the Dave Filoni movie announcement. The only one that I possibly seeing still happening is the Dave Filoni one. For ages there, I used to think that there's no way that they're gonna like just cancel the Rey movie. But like where we are now, since the announcement of that, and the most that we've got to show for it is that Daisy Ridley, like, it says that it's going to be worth the wait. I'm curious to know. I'm gonna actually have a look through this and just see if she says anything about scripts or anything like that. But I'm gonna do that later in my own fucking time, because I so feel like that Star Wars is so irrelevant. I mean, I probably shouldn't have even been talking about it for this long, to be honest with you. Until the things happen, you know, when the Mandalorian and Grogu stuff starts ramping up, it'll start becoming more and more relevant in the zeitgeist of fucking the internet, the entertainment sphere more so. Sorry. Obviously, because you know it's got the full promotional fucking funding of Disney behind it. They're going to ramp the hype up. It's not going to get too hyped. I can't see it happening. I can't see too many people actually being massively interested in it. And the ones that are like, I know that, and it's going to annoy the shit out of me. Like Anna, for example, with Grogu. Like, and just annoys the shit out of me that she loves that thing so much. She don't like, obviously, I know that she, in her own head, she's got this distinction between like it being a good character. She doesn't obviously think that it's a good character. But just she likes the cuteness of the fucking thing, and that it just annoys me. Just annoys me. So there's going to be those people that go and see it for the cuteness of Grogu and stuff like that. You're going to get a few normies that go out and see it, but you're not going to have repeat viewing. Like, I think as a Star Wars movie, it's going to do well on its opening weekend. At least okay. I wouldn't necessarily say well. I think it might do okay on its opening weekend, but then the drop off and everything is going to be massive, because there's just too many people now that are just so out that they'd rather wait to see what Gary has to say about it or what Ryan has to say about it. And whether or not these guys go to the theaters to go and see it, or whether or not they fucking sail the high seas to see it, fucking who cares, right? At the end of the day, there are so many people that are more interested to see what they have to say about it. And that's where I think, was it Grace Randolph was saying, like, no, it wasn't Grace Randolph. It was fucking Leslie Headland that was saying, fucking, they could be one and the same, to be fair, was saying how, like, the topic of Star Wars and talking about Star Wars is more culturally relevant than the stuff that's being made for Star Wars, which is a crazy thing to think, but it's very true. Yo, how you doing, Big Phrase? What up? So yeah, Grace's special needs. Changed my mind. Well, so is Leslie Headland. Anyway, that's all the Star Wars news. We don't need to go into any more, I don't think, to be honest with you. I'm definitely going to have a look through that fucking article, though, that direct article. just to see. I also want to see when that statement was made. That was actually half the reason why I went into it, wasn't it? But yeah, just also going back to Script Trooper's question, is it savable? No. Does anybody honestly in the chat, be honest, and can it be saved? Do you think it can be? You can't rule out the possibility, that 1% chance that yes, like they wipe everybody out of fucking Lucasfilm, they bring new people in, they retcon, they do, like, that is such a small percentage chance that something like that could happen. But yes, I guess in the realms of the possibilities, the multiple different multiverse angles that we can take with this, yes, I guess there is a small, tiny little chance that it's savable. I'd say that chance is like 0.00001,835% chance that can happen. Is Rhino's audio cutting out for anyone else? Is it cutting out? And this is like, I had an issue before. I'm hoping that that's not. Oh, let's not fucking listen to me saying that again. I don't know. I hate listening to myself over. No. All right, we're done with Star Wars. Let's get that shit off my fucking screen. You know the book I've been listening to recently? And it's the first time I've ever read it. And it's so funny. I reckon because this book was not available as an unabridged book. This was only ever available, based on my understanding, as an abridged book. And they've just recently released it. Now, yes, me getting the book gives Disney money, I guess, but it's a token. I get it for free through my Amazon thing, so I just use the token. I didn't give them actual money, to be honest. Outbound Flight. Outbound Flight. It's very interesting because it brings Thrawn in so much earlier in the story than when we get actually Thrawn in the Thrawn trilogy. So it actually introduces him. It's almost like a bit of an origin into the galaxy for Thrawn, and a very interesting book. I really like it. So far, anyway. I'm not through it yet. So Outbound is prequel. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I think it takes place. Is it after Attack of the Clones? I think it's between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I think. I can't remember now. I remember reading the synopsis and it mentions it, but now I'm like blanking on exactly which two movies it takes place between. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, it's clear again. Chrome was being a dickhead. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's talk about the thing that I was actually hoping to be able to watch and talk about today, which was the Supergirl trailer. I actually had no idea that it was going to be competing against the... Actually, I should plug my headphones in because there is a little audio with this one. I didn't know it was going to be competing with the Doomsday trailer. So Doomsday and Supergirl are set to drop trailers on the same day. See, this is the thing that annoys me. It is Thursday, December 11th. Maybe not for you in America, living behind the times. But for me here in Australia, where reality. Well, in fact, no, reality doesn't exist in Australia right now. So it's hard for me to make that point. But it's already the 11th. Give me the trailers. You should be able to release them in Australia first. This is false advertising. Should say US time or something. Something like that in there. Bastards. So, yes, it's going to be interesting to see how these trailers are both received. Let's take a look at the poster for Supergirl. Truth, justice, whatever. It's good. It's good. Now, this is the thing. I actually kind of, I mean, look, I'm not a massive DC person. I think I've made that very clear over the time that I've been doing this. But, she's good looking. She's pretty hot. She looks like, just that there, the still shot and everything without the attitude. Now, I don't know the character all that well, but in the time that we're in right now, and I know that it's fucking a little bit ridiculous to say that, the attitude comes across as gross. And it's funny because I saw this and Anna says she looks like she needs a shower. And to be completely honest with you, Anna's not wrong. Like, she looks like she's got, especially, her face looks so dirty. In Superman, is it Superman 2, Superman 3, where Superman fights himself in the fucking scrapyard and he's flicking the peanuts at the mirror and he looks really fucking dirty and drunk and stingy. I can't remember. Is that Superman 2 or 3? It's 3, right? No. Yeah, no, it is 3, isn't it? She looks like that. Like, her face actually looks dirty. And it's supposed to come across as edgy and rebellious, and it just comes across as gross. And I don't know. Even just her her appearance in fucking the Superman movie, I thought was shit. Even there. I mean, she's not even dressed as Supergirl and she looks fucking dirty. All right. So it's tomorrow, guys. It's tomorrow. But then we also get this sneak peek. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but it's only 11 seconds. It's like another one of those teasers for that. So this is apparently going to sneak peek at the Avengers Doomsday trailer to be shown at theaters for Avatar, Fire and Ash. God. So that's what they're teasing people with. So the Doom scars, Pedro Pascal, Jesus. It's funny too because he's got a bit of dad bod kind of going on, and it almost looks like they've tried to CGI a bit of a six pack or a bit of structure to the dad bod. So it's yes, he's got this baby belly, right? But it's encased in muscles around the side. I can't not see. I don't know. It almost looks like a dick. It almost looks like you got a ball there, and a big fat fucking butt plug. They turned Pedro Pascal's into a fucking thick cock picture. But that's what I'm talking. That's what I mean. Like, it looks like he's got a dad bod. You know what? I can't remember his name, but you remember Total Recall when he opens up his fucking jacket and there's the fucking mutant, and you know, open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. That's what's going to come out of fucking Reed Richards right now. Does that not look wrong to you? It looks like honestly, it fucking looks like a fucking what do they call it? Prosthetic to try and make him look like cut and fit and everything. But like, I don't know what they've done. I can't not see it. Anyway, this is all we get. Oh, that's even worse. What is that? What is that? Like, honestly, what is that? It would look better if he was slimmer. But like, it doesn't even look real. And if that is really his body, then he has had actual implants put in to try and give himself abs. That's all I see with that. And you get Scott, which I'm like, yeah, cool. But like, it's just... Back to Doom. I like, this is the other thing too with this movie, is that there's been no build up to this. There's been no build up to Doomsday. So the problem that AMC now has is this just a build up to Secret Wars? Is that, like, obviously it is. We know that like this is supposed to be like almost a two-parter, but like with no build up to what we're getting with Doomsday, they can't just introduce this guy and everybody just be like, yeah, seal clapping their way through it. And then we get no like explanation to how we got to this point. But the problem with that is that they're going to have to use the first half an hour, 45 minutes of this movie to do that. Now, that's not to say that that's necessarily the worst thing or a bad thing. They could do it, and they could do it well. Will they do it well? It's very unlikely. Very unlikely. So, again, we get a trailer for both of these tomorrow. Fucking, we get dirty-faced fucking... Like, fuck, I just can't get over how dirty they made her face look. Go have a shower. You look like you stink. And then you get Pedro Pascal with, I don't know. What's his name? What's his name? I want to call him that. How do you pronounce that? Kuto? What? Oh, man. I'm reading it and I'm fucking so retarded that I can't actually... But, like, the pronunciation of it, I'm trying, like... It's, like, on the tip of my tongue. Open your mind. Open your mind. Doom Open your mind. And the funny thing is Reed Richards being, you know, he could mold that into himself. Anyway, I'm never going to get over that. Fake abs, looks shit. Quato? I don't know. Anyway, that's that. So yes, tomorrow we get the 2 trailers. I am going to I'll probably do some reaction videos to it once I finish work. Like Watto. Quato. It just doesn't sound right in my head, and I don't think I am saying it right. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, though, as well. Total Recall. Cool. We get those trailers tomorrow after Casual Rage. And fucking again, I'm hating that I'm gonna miss this conversation on Flashcast. Because we're gonna actually have the trailers. We're gonna actually be able to talk a little bit more about it, break it down a little bit more. Just look up a clip on YouTube full. Yeah, I will do that. I wasn't gonna do it straight away, but now that you mention it, I probably like, what's the point in waiting? Thanks for calling out my retardedness. Fool. So it's spelt. Yeah, here we go. It's so funny, like the guy who has the mutant in him, his acting performance. All right, let me drag this over. I don't know how much of this I'll be able to play though. I better hang on. The whole purpose of doing this is to fucking get the correct pronunciation. Okay, it doesn't actually give me the pronunciation of his name in that clip. Open your mind. Actually. Cohagen. Dude. Quad. I finally got there. Fucking finally got there anytime. Calling out your foolery. Quad. It's such a weird name. Quad. Fucking quad. All right, good. We got there. All right, let's I'm actually kind of curious, actually. And it's a little bit silly because you guys, I would assume that you're kind of in the same boat as me, where you kind of really don't care about either of these things. But which out of Supergirl and Avengers Doomsday, which one do you care about more? Even if that care that you've got for which one is a more negative, like for all the wrong reasons, if you know what I mean. So, like, you care to pay more attention to, let's say, Doomsday than you do Supergirl to see how that performs, even though you've got no interest in seeing it. Just like which one in the story and the zeitgeist, that kind of thing, which one interests you more to pay more attention to? Which one do you care about more? Just put a D for Doomsday or an S for Supergirl. You don't even need to fucking just type the whole fuck. Just do the D, do the D, or do the S. Curious. Neither, but if I had to pick Supergirl, okay. None of them. I understand that. Oh, look, Papa Palpatine, Pete's Padawan likes the D. Soul Assassin likes the D. Oh, fucking, I'm stirring, guys. So Butcher's more Supergirl. We've got Doomsday, more Doomsday. I'm just trying to sort of gauge where the interest lies. I'm obviously more Doomsday because it's Marvel. Once again, I'm not a massive DC guy. But the thing for DC that's interesting is to see how Supergirl performs with everything that's going on with the sale of WB. That gets even more interesting. I'm not smart enough or anything to pay attention to the full-on details of that. I'm just sitting back and sort of watching the other people report on it, getting the information through that, and then once it happens, make, sort of wait till the result at the end of the day. I would rather watch 78 Superman. Not like, more dislike. No, I understand. Whichever one has more eye candy. Well, when you say eye candy, like, it's funny. Yeah, okay, you've got Supergirl. She's a pretty hot chick. You might there might be a little bit of eye candy there in that. I don't think so, though, being like how quote unquote misogynistic that would be for them to put that in there. Oh, not misogynistic for them to put it in, but they're not trying to get the male gaze, are they? That wouldn't be their intention. So you're not going to get too much, I think, eye candy in Supergirl. But the eye candy that you are going to get in Doomsday is the unload of fucking characters and cameos and fucking... Both of them, I truly believe, are going to be a mess when it comes to actual story and actual plot and actual, through line and all of that kind of shit. I don't think that there's going to be much in either of these two movies. In fact, I think that there's probably a good chance that Supergirl is going to be a better structured movie, story-wise and plot-wise, than Doomsday will be. Purely on the cast sizes. Wouldn't you think? I'll see, dude. I do have a busy weekend once again this weekend, to the point where I'm not actually able to do Flashcast. Well, at least I keep saying, like, I might be able to make the tail end of Flashcast, but I don't want to miss Flashcast this week because of the fact that these trailers are actually hitting. Anyway, thanks for the invite. All right, we're done with that. We're done with that. The real question is if James Gunn will last another film. The thing for me is I don't know whether or not it would be relevant or not. It just feels like this is just doing damage to his sort of legacy. So like moving forward, is he even going to be able to sort of get a job? I guess it's James Gunn, but like, and that might be a stupid thing to say. I don't know. But in any other fucking industry, if you were to prove yourself as an actual retard, you're not really going to get employed to do that same job somewhere else. You know. Doomsday will be a cameo fest. How can a story even cover half the characters? That I know. They're gonna try so hard to make this a Infinity War, not an Endgame movie. They're gonna try so hard to do Infinity War, where like the villain is like almost respected by the audience, not necessarily liked, but respected by the audience. And they will obviously the Robert Downey Jr. Avenue has a toll to play in that. But like, they just haven't built it up. They didn't build it up like they did Thanos. They didn't. And to me, it's going to fail miserably. I just wonder if in Supergirl, if James Gunn's wife's going to show up and scissor with Supergirl. I think that's the biggest question on most people's lips with that. All right, I saw a trailer and I thought, I like this actor. And I watched this trailer. The trailer is called Mercy. It's a bit like a modern day Minority Report, I guess. And it just piqued my interest because I just feel like these more based actors would probably try and find a little bit more based roles. So I do pay a little bit more attention to these things when I see them. I think it's fair to say. Let's check out this trailer.
I'm Chris Pratt.
I'm Rebecca Ferguson.
You're going to freak out when you see the trailer for our new movie, Mercy.
I wonder if they claim their trailers. Like Disney always seems to be the best one. You can pretty much just watch the trailer without having to pause or anything and do anything, and they don't claim the trailer. But like everybody else, especially like Netflix and stuff like they do, fucking get you every time.
What the?
Get me out of this chair.
Detective Raven, I'm Judge Maddox, and this is the Mercy Capital Court, a judicial system powered by artificial intelligence.
Hold on, just wait a second.
With crime rates...
It's an interesting concept because, you know, I mean, even just the thought of this, it makes it a little bit more interesting than even Minority Report, because Minority Report, you had those cognitive the twins and shit, like they were the ones that could read the future, whereas this is just AI. And, you know, something like this could be in the realms of possibility of reality one day. It just, I don't exactly know how AI works and all of that kind of shit, but you know, it's pretty crazy to think about.
Soaring, lawmakers voted for mercy. By acting as judge, jury, and executioner, Mercy keeps our city safe.
I shouldn't be here. I helped create the Mercy program. I'm proud to have sent the first suspect for trial here, and I will continue to send more until the message is received.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today charged with the murder of your wife.
Oh my God.
Your guilt must fall below the 92% threshold, or you will be executed in precisely 90 minutes.
I loved my wife. I didn't hurt her.
Detective Raven, the city's municipal cloud is at your disposal. Every camera, cell phone, and database. You must gather evidence to exonerate yourself. If you are innocent, prove it.
I need to find out who killed my wife.
It's a classic harm of passion first, and it all points right at you.
You don't get the mercy trial unless you're guilty.
I didn't hurt Mom. I swear to God. Show me everyone she had contact with. She was seeing someone. How's my guilt looking now?
It has risen to 98%.
Isn't
You just provided me with a strong motive of why.
that it's so like even just that little bit there, like that kind of got me when I was watching it. I was like, this is interesting, but then it's got me thinking. You know, if you're just yourself and you've got to represent yourself and you've got the the ability to use all of artificial intelligence and you've got access to absolutely everything to try and prove your innocence, and you were to come across a piece of that and you know that you're innocent, you know that you didn't kill your wife or whatever, you know that you didn't commit the crime, and then you just provide the court with a motive for why you would have done what you did, just, without even thinking about it. Maybe, a lawyer, somebody representing you, would think about that. Like they would, they wouldn't necessarily want to disclose it because then, yes, you might get, you might want to bring it in at a certain point or something. Like, I don't exactly know how all of that shit works, but it's just an interesting thought to think that you might, if you ever had to go in and you had to represent yourself, fucking be careful with what you say because you could incriminate yourself more. And that's why you've always got the right to remain silent.
You murdered her.
Good. Wow. Thank you for that.
Mr. Raven, the clock is ticking.
Tell me what Nick was up to. She was stressed about work.
She said some chemical went missing.
The estimated street value would be in excess of $16 million.
Do you honestly think that I killed my wife, or were you just programmed wrong? I need to walk the scene. No, I have something here.
This is a terrorist's handbook.
Get out. Get out of there.
Mr. Raven, you're running out of time.
Chris, what do you got to do? There's a bomb in that truck.
Now, the only other thing that I don't know is, like, it seems like in that previous clip, like, he's controlling, like, from where he is, he's controlling these cops to do something, like, go on a fact-finding mission to help him find his innocence. I don't know about that. If you can actually, like, I don't know.
He's heading downtown.
This was never about my wife. This was about me and you.
Get me out of here!
Well, it's one of those movies where it'll have a bit of a crazy twist to it. And I like those kinds of movies. I like Chris Pratt. I like the idea of this. It just seems like a good, fun movie. Bit of a thriller, I guess. So yeah, I thought I'd share that. Thought it was interesting. What's it coming out on? And it's filmed for IMAX. So in theaters January next year, 23rd. That's cool. That's cool. I like it. All right. Let's get into the Star Wars stuff. Now, I was watching Nina before I went live because her, Dante, and Chrissy were going through the Nick Fuentes interview with Piers Morgan. And they went to speed it up, and they were able to speed it up. But I'm unable to speed up mine, and I don't understand. I still don't get it. They did a refresh, and then it worked. Hold on. Oh, I refreshed and it fucking worked. How's that? I don't understand what fucking is going on. All right, we go to 1.5. All right, let's share this. Hang on, before I do, let me see if I can at least find 2 seals of the week, shall I? At least 2. I know Mike, you sent me a couple. I'm just so over Star Wars. Oh no, where am I going? I was going to say, I think I'd already used this one from Jacob, but he only posted it 2 days ago. It's got to be like one of those tweets that like he's basically just repeated. What else we got? I don't. Let me see. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, we've found 2. Hold on. Let me see. Is there any more I can fucking use? Fuck it. Let's just do a playoff between these 2.
I'm all the Jedi.
G'day, B-Man, and let me just say quick hello to Chuck's Beta Bucks Deluxe. Now I'm so used to saying the Chucks. Hey, Beta Bucks Deluxe, how you doing? Says, hi, Rhino. Hi, all. Thank you, Beta Bucks Deluxe, for the $10. And g'day, B-Man, how are you? Smash the like button, everyone. Yes, please smash the like button. Like the stream. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hello to all the lurkers out there as well. To the lurkers and the rewatchers, the people that come. I always say this at the end, but you never really know whether or not people will actually make it to the end. So if you're here rewatching the stream, like Lara A is every week, hello and welcome and thank you. Please smash the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And to the lurkers, I know you're there. I know you're there. I know you're there. Melissa, how you doing, Melissa? Good to see you. Beta Bucks Deluxe, you're a legend. Thank you so much. The support is always fucking really appreciated. Massively. All right. We did the intro for Seal of the Week, so let's fucking bring up our nominees. Do we need audio? I don't think we need audio. I know there's a little video here. So from J.I. Jacob gets the first nominee for this week. He says, seriously don't understand how people think Rey was immediately presented as one of the best pilots in Star Wars when this was her first time flying the Millennium Falcon. Between all the crashes, scrapes, and blasts, from TIE fighters, it's legitimately a miracle that Rey and Finn were actually able to escape from Jakku. That's the point, you fucking idiot. It was a miracle that they were able to fucking escape from Jakku. It's almost like a contradiction within the fucking statement. Like, I can't believe people think that, fucking Rey is... Well, she's not. It's almost like you're saying she's not one of the best pilots, but she is one of the best pilots, and they made her one of the best pilots by making it a miracle that she was able to escape. So stupid. And nominee number 2 this week goes to Sawyer. And she says, I love Star Wars. It's my favorite special interest. It's my favorite special interest. And it has been so good to me. But the fandom has alienated me from much in the last year. It's hard to feel like my voice even matters in the conversation anymore. Yeah, I think that goes, I think that's because, and that goes for everybody on your side of the aisle, because nobody actually really pays attention or cares what you think about Star Wars anymore, because you have been a shill. I don't think what you did at LA Comic-Con actually helped you either within the Star Wars fandom. And you might point the finger and say, well, Rhino, what you did was pretty fucking... All I did was walk up to her, say, hey, Sawyer, to get her attention. She turned around. I walked over. I gave the thumbs up and said, good job trying to cancel YouTubers. And when she said thanks as I was walking away, I called her a loser and laughed at her because she said thank you for me walking over and saying, good job trying to cancel YouTubers. And then she blew it up. I didn't even record it. I didn't say anything. She just said that this person, oh no, had a bit of a cry and played victim at the fucking all over the internet. And I made it known that, yes, hey, that was me and you're full of shit. And everybody else that was there that saw it, that I was there with. Now, yes, you could say that, oh, those people would all be biased towards you, Ryan. They were hanging out with you. They like you, blah, blah, blah. These people aren't fucking stupid. They're going to be truthful about what happened and what they saw and everything. They're not, like, they've got no loyalty necessarily to me. But you did that, and the fan base started to see you again for what you are, which is just a victim within the fucking... And you're so woke and you're so fucking shit. Now, I don't know whether or not that's specifically why you feel this way about the fandom. Like, oh, they've pushed me out. I'm alienated from the fandom. Well, dude, you alienated yourself from the true Star Wars fandom a long time ago. So, yeah. It's because the Force loves her. Yeah. G'day, Gabriel Knight. How you doing? Good to see ya. So they're your 2 nominees. We're just doing the 2 today. Let me put the poll in the chat. And we'll get into this Stargate video. Oh, stomach. Need to get some food. All right. Get your votes in. We've got J.I. Jacob, number 1, and Sawyer, number 2. Very close in how retarded both their statements are. Whoa. The like on Chops. I say it all the time now. On Beta Bucks Deluxe, fucking, if I go to YouTube, the like for that super chat is like flickering. Going between 2, 3, and 4. 2 pops up every now and then. It's really fucking... Fix your shit, guys. Fix your shit. But Beta Bucks Deluxe, this is for you.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
Thank you very much.
Oh, Mozza, read that.
Mozza, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mozza.
Question mark.
I think it's bedtime for Mozza.
You pushed so far.
That's the type of videos that we watch on fucking Happy Hump Day.
I gotta pee. Oh
my god. It'll never get old. It'll never get old. It was one of the funniest moments of my life. When you full on have a proper belly laugh because it was so fucking funny. So funny. Anyway. All right, let's I think I need to reshare actually. Hold on. Because I didn't share audio before. All right, here we go. Dial the Gate with Martin Giro. I don't exactly know. Reveals timeline for new Stargate premiere. Oh, it's not the timeline for the show. It's like when they're looking at releasing it. Damn it. I didn't read the fucking... I was hoping we were going to get a timeline in regards to how, like, you know, just give us some information in regards to when this is taking place. Like, how long after the events of, let's say, SGU does it take place? Being that it's got to be a continuation of the story, and those other shows are a continuation of the story, it's got to be obviously after SGU. But how long after, like, a little bit of information in regards to what they're possibly planning on doing in regards to Galaxy they might be in. I was hoping to get some information like that. Her reaction makes it. Are you talking about Blabs? Are you talking about the fart reaction? I just could not contain myself as soon as I fucking heard it and the shock that I had. Did you just fart?
Oh, Mozza, read that.
Mozza, don't let the American bitch.
Did you just fart?
Yes, I did. Tell you what to do.
I think it's bedtime, Mozza.
Oh, it's so funny. I'm sorry, it's so funny. Yes, Flabs. She kind of like tilts her head a little bit. Like, did I just hear what I heard? It's probably you, Rhino. Dude, you were there. You were right there sitting on the couch. You know it wasn't me. You know where that sound came from. You were there. I was there. He was there. Like, right there. Blame me. I dare you. Fuck, it's funny. I'll never, ever lose that clip. Another one that made me laugh, though, like a bit of a belly laugh, was Flash. Fucking Tom was reading something about Star Wars from an article, and Flash just says, like, as you're reading this, I feel the hydration leaving my body. And it was just the way that it came out. So funny. I've got that clipped on my Instagram, actually. That one. All right, let's watch. We did get to speed this up a little bit, which is nice. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get any information out of this. I was going to watch the full stream. It like went for like an hour and a half or something like that. But they clip this out, so I'm guessing that this is the most important stuff that they want out there.
Let's get down to brass tacks. How long does a production like this take? So can you set expectations for us? I mean, if we're being real here.
Yeah, I mean, I just in a general sense, I think like, we're starting the writer's room on the other side of the year. And so it's going to, these things take about 2 years, give or take. Might be a little shorter, might be a little longer. Hopefully it's not longer. But yeah, so that's just to set everybody's expectations. Like we're in for, it's going to be a minute, that we wanted to announce early because we didn't want it to leak. We wanted to like have it be controlled and be able to have, because, it had been like 20, excuse me, live stream, 20 or 30 people inside the company that had known about it. And to make a show, you have to hire like 400 people. Right. And so like
I can't go too fast. My brain just can't keep up. Sometimes I can. It just depends on who it is actually is that's speaking. Like I think if it was David, I could go to that 1.5 speed. I don't know. With the way Martin's speaking, I don't think I can.
That circle was going to start opening up as it did in the last few weeks, pretty broadly. And we wanted the fans to hear it from us and not from a leak.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's gonna. I imagine that most of that is post production. I would think at least.
It's pretty even. It's pretty even between how long it takes to shoot and
Into the Chopper Eye is greater than Dial the Gate. Okay, I'll check them out. The thing is I haven't really gone out and checked or investigated Stargate fucking channels, to be honest with you. Obviously, with this popping up and my interest in Stargate, these were just some of the ones that showed up for me just as recommendeds and shit. And I know that Anna and Nina know this guy, David. I'd love to get on with these guys and just shoot the shit about Stargate and my love and just talk about our love of Stargate. Tell me about it. Even the Naquita reactor that he's got behind him is fucking awesome.
then, again, I think Brad alluded to in that video, like we have resources that we we haven't had before. And so we're talking to some of the biggest visual effects houses.
Like there's the Naquita reactor there. He's got the ZPM, I think, next to that. He's got a Stargate, like an open Stargate. That's cool.
In the world, historically amazing. And but that work takes time. It's not. It's a gift to not have to turn around a shot in 3 weeks, to have in some cases a year to build out a sequence.
That's more or less what you guys were working with on the original shows, right? You had Rainmaker and other external vendors, and then you had Mark Savella building the internal team for visual effects.
Internal team. Yeah.
But you guys were rolling through, right? When you're doing 20 episodes a year, you're rolling through. You got
40.
to decide 40 for 3 years.
Yeah.
But you got to decide, okay, how many shots can we afford? How many shots can I fit in my episode? How long can they be? And then work with those guys to turn them around on this constantly rolling basis where what's the latest you ever delivered an episode to the network?
Oh, I mean, hours before. I mean, like a day before.
Really?
Like it is. And also something that is different.
That's back in the
all
day.
of these major platforms is, the show goes live day and date across the world, and they need a certain amount of time also to do what's called localizing, which is like that they, I think they translate it into 30 plus languages, which is incredible for all of those audiences. Wow. But that, that takes a certain amount of time. So like once we're finished the show, before it can air, they have to go through this like localizing so that all of the countries in, what do they say? 240 countries and territories.
240 countries and territories.
Yeah, at the same time. So that just the back end of that is
I don't know if I missed it. I don't think he mentioned it, but I don't know if I possibly missed this from somewhere else. Do we have any idea of how many episodes they want to do per season? I'm honestly hoping with the reduced season sizes that we have these days, with like 8 episode seasons and stuff like that, I really hope that we at least get 12, if not maybe 14 episodes per season for it, because I really do feel like there is an element of Stargate where you need the time, even though the pacing of it can sometimes be a little slow. You need the time to build your characters, because it isn't necessarily just about one character. I feel like if you've got like a main character and it is just that character, and yes, you've got your side people around him, but the main story is just that character's story, you could do like 8 episodes and you can tell the story that you want to tell. But in Stargate, you've got such a vast range of characters to the point where even your locations, your main locations, the SGC, the Atlantis outpost, those places are characters within themselves. They grow with the show as they retain more technology or as they figure something out, let's say in the Atlantis situation, whatever the case may be, with all of these things that they've got at their disposal. You need time to allow that to grow within a show like Stargate, to continue the way that Stargate has been loved. And I just feel like if you come out with an 8-episode season of Stargate, you're not giving yourself enough time. You've got to cram enough in there. Now, they might also make these episodes a little bit longer than the episodes that they made for, let's say, SG1 and stuff that was more designed for TV. You can watch episodes of SG1 now and you can see where the ad was supposed to come in. You know, they leave you on that cliffhanger kind of thing. And then, you come back from the commercial and you get straight back into it. They don't need to necessarily do that anymore. You got a bit more time on your hands. So, I hope a couple of things. I hope they're consistent with their length of times of their episodes within minutes of each other. Not fucking one fucking episode's 40 minutes and another one's 58 minutes. And then you get another one that's 37 minutes and another, no, fuck that shit. Let's be consistent with how much content we're filling in per episode. Cameos need to be important. When you bring in your cameos, because no doubt that you're going to have cameos and the fans are going to want them. I want them. But they need to be important. They need to be relevant. They can't just be, oh, look, it's Sam. Oh, look, it's Jack. Oh, look, it's Daniel. Oh, look, it's Rodney. Oh, look, it's Ronan. It can't just be that. Whoever it is. We don't want just the seal clapping moments. We want the moment where we're not expecting the cameo. I know, just as an example, the new team, they're stranded. They're out in the middle of space. Their life support is dropping. The enemy know they're searching for them. They know that they're in this area. It's only a matter of time. The episode's ticking down. They're trying to figure shit out. It's a good episode to get into the psyche of some of the characters, and build a relationship between the characters and the audience. Those are some of those good episodes because they're sitting around in a stranded ship or something like this that has no power or whatever, and they're having to make the time go by. So what do they talk about? They talk about their families, or they'll talk about, what they were going to do if they ever got back, or, it can allow you to give it time for the characters to grow, is basically my point. But then out of nowhere, fucking Jack shows up in a ship to save their lives. Just at the last minute, the enemy arrives. Yes, it's it's those convenient moments. Yes, right. But again, you don't want to make it too over the top. But Jack shows up, saves the day, saves the crew. We get our moment. Jack is a hero again. Not that he would. He's probably retired, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. But the cameos need to be meaningful. It would be lovely to have them non-spoiled and actually a surprise. So we'll see. I don't know how I got there from watching where we got up to. It was basically the length of the episodes. I didn't know whether or not they mentioned it, or the length of the seasons.
Is really, really impressive.
One of the things about modern television that is frustrating for me, Martin, and you may be able to speak to this, you may not, is that 2 and 3 years between seasons. Is there a snowball's chance in hell that if the first season is successful early on while it's airing, that you could, is there any chance that we'll get, if it's really successful, another season about a year later? Or
before he answers this question, I would hope, being the people that are involved in it, that they've actually got more than just the one season planned out. I mean, these people are used to doing 24 episodes a season, right? So they're good storytellers. They can open the world up. They can open up the characters. They can remove a character if they need to remove a character for 1 week and only have these characters and do a story based around them. I feel like with the people that are involved, they would have a couple of seasons of this thing already at least plotted out, not necessarily fully storyboarded or whatever. And I don't, again, know how the structures of a lot of these things work, but I would at least hope that these people would have more than just 1 season set and good to go, and then waiting to see what happens before they start moving on anything else to the point where it can be done very quickly. Now let's have a listen to his actual answer.
Is it 2-3 years now? And that's
no,
just
that's
the way
very.
it is.
I mean, I don't want to listen. If we are so lucky, I think that is you're not the only one that feels that way. I think everyone in the entertainment industry, from the top down, wants to squeeze, the time between seasons, because just as a we're all viewers. We love television. That's why we make television. And so everyone has that ache and pain. And so yeah. I mean, we'll certainly endeavor to do everything we can to get those times between seasons down. But again, I'm just focused on making one great season now. Obviously, it's not a limited series. We want it to be a bunch, but it's like
the thing that I'll say about that is, like, it's fine if we don't get, let's say, that cameo or whatever. But I would think with how, like, you look at what's his name, Michael, the guy that plays Daniel. His love for the franchise and everything. I think that he would like. That is Jack, isn't it? Richard Dean Anderson. I think he would probably like Stargate more than he liked MacGyver.
Like, it's like my main concern right now is just making 10 episodes that everyone's going to want a second season for.
Darren?
I lost my notes.
Darren, Martin, do you, yes or no, do you have the opening image for your show in mind? Do you know it? Do you know what it looks like? That's awesome. That's cool.
It may change as things do.
Sure.
There's a cool motif that goes through kind of the opening episode of the show that I think is pretty fun.
Cool.
Yes, good. Because that just in regards to that, I like that, because we need connecting tissue. It's been a long time. There's a little motif beforehand that leads us into where we've got to get to and where we are and all of that sort of thing. I'm fine. That's good. Need to make sure that happens.
Okay, I got it. Martin, you've been away from this world for so long. Mm-hmm. We want to talk about your Stargate career. We want to talk about the stuff that you did after Stargate.
Sure.
But the question is, having this gap since the last time you wrote a Stargate episode, was a fresh idea more elusive than creating something from scratch? David, this is your question. It's worded awkwardly.
I apologize. You had time to look at it.
I get what you're saying. It was it was just so fun to return to the tone of the show, and it's one that is obviously, if you've seen anything I've done, has like followed me a little bit, obviously I love high stakes, big shows, but like there's always a sense of humor and fun, that I think, I innately have, but I definitely refined on Stargate. It was a great place to learn how to make TV. Just the volume alone is just baffling to me. To be a part of 150 plus episodes of television before you're 30 is like, what a gift. So it's ingrained in me pretty strong. And so when I came back to it, it was great, because like I hope that I've grown as a person and I've grown as a storyteller and I've grown as a showrunner. And so the ambition of this show is twofold. It's a bigger, grander story, certainly, than we've been able to do, but also like emotionally is a bigger thing. I don't know. I can't talk about it. I can't really, even just as I was like forming sentences, I was like, shut up.
It's sure. It's also a fun piece of the story is that you came up you said you started when you were 25 years old. You came up working in somebody else's world, right? Working in somebody else's universe.
Yeah.
And now not only do you get to take the reins of that universe, but you've got Brad and Joe along for the ride. So can you speak further to that dynamic of sort of now you're the grown up and they're living in your basement?
Yeah,
Well,
no,
they're
it's-
definitely not living in my basement. They have very nice houses.
Mm.
They're both very successful television writers.
Metaphorically.
But yeah, no, and I don't even really see that way. Like, but that you are right, Darren, is that I think part of the concern with me is like, how do I make this my own? Like, how do I make this, show that is, but I think again, what I was excited about was just like how much the overlap between Stargate and me was. But, I think like, to have Brad there, Brad is specifically like Joe is, I feel Joe technically was.
You got to
my
be
boss,
careful. I got to just say, you got to be sort of careful with making it my own and stuff like that. I understand what he is saying, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in regards to saying that, because I understand. Like, he's been involved with the, like he just mentioned, the overlap in regards to his involvement with Stargate. If that was, let's say a J.J. Abrams coming in to say that he's making it his own, or a Ryan Johnson coming in to say that he's making it his own, you're thinking of it differently, right? And this is where I feel like sometimes too, we've got to be a little bit careful, because like I was getting concerned with the fact that there was the mention of it being like Stargate being grounded in present day, right? And how they've got to make it for modern day. And like, it's that whole thing of it's that trigger of like modern audiences. Okay. Making it my own and things like that. Got to try and just like temper that for the moment and give these guys the benefit of the doubt. And the only reason why I'm giving the benefit of the doubt is because of how involved they've been in with Stargate in their lives. It's the only thing. %99 chance it will be woke trash. I don't think the percentages are that high. I could be wrong. And I fucking hope we're both. I hope that you're wrong. I really hope that you're wrong. I hope that this is really good. I hope that it's amazing. And I hope that they actually do it justice. I really do. And again, I could be fooling myself, Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Feel like we were contemporaries.
I've got to be careful with that kind
at a
of
certain
thing.
point.
The older brother.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Brad is like a huge mentor of mine. And so, just in the developing of the show, I think, there was a moment where we were done, press send, offer approval. And Brad just sent me, the simplest text, which is just like, well, they wanted a new Stargate and you gave them a new Stargate. Like, great work. This is fantastic. And I got choked, like I got really, it meant so much that he, that I had not let him down, that I had been able to do something that felt new and exciting, but that he was also proud of, and excited to be a part of, if we were so lucky to make this thing. And so now the fact that we all kind of like get to do this again is like such a rare honor.
Yes, Nitrium, it absolutely could be. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. At this point in time, with the information that we do have, I don't think it's going to be. But I could be wrong, and you could be right.
And we're all very grateful for this chance.
No one goes it alone.
No, never. Especially at TV. I mean, TV is like truly, a couple thousand people are going to work on this season. Like it's like everybody puts a lot of hands go on it before it makes it to you, and they always make it better. They very rarely make it worse.
Well, let me say this: it's not a reboot. It's not a reboot. It's definitely a continuation through the story of Stargate, which is always like, that's better. Definitely better. But it's not like they're going back and doing SG-1 again. If they are, then you'd have so many Stargate fans that would actually not be happy about that. To go back and recast like Jack, Daniel, Sam, Tilk, you can't do that. You can't. It's one of those things that's sacred.
When you look back on your Stargate work, I'm curious if there's a particular
you're being
episode
harsh, Nitrium. You're being really harsh on it.
If someone said,
and that's fine.
You're
You're well and truly within your right to be. Because again, you mentioned how many times you've actually been burnt. I get it. I get it.
Your favorite episode from Atlantis that you did? Which one would you pop into the DVD
it's
player?
probably McKay and Mrs. Miller. Yeah. I mean, for a couple reasons. One, it's just a really banging episode of TV, I think. But two, it also is the eyes in character isn't aware of the Stargate program. So if you've never seen Stargate, it's a great way to like get into the show because they have to explain to Jeannie Miller like, well, this is the Stargate program. This is what we do, and kind of the whole awe that you get to see her experience. You know, seeing an Asgard and being on the Daedalus and like all of this stuff. It's just so fun. And then it's also like, you know, it was written at a time where my brother and I weren't as close as I wanted us to be, and I was a young kid and didn't know how to say some of those things, and so, you know, it was resonant to me. And then obviously David and his sister, you know, my friend Brendan Gall's in the show as well, who's remained a close friend and collaborator. And so, yeah, no, that one is just like one of the great privileges of making TV is it sometimes just immerses your life in amber for a moment. And that's not something I was aware of when I was younger, but now that I am, you know, 20 years older, it's like, I'm so grateful to have these things that you can go back to. They become home movies. Like you don't really remember when I watch shows now, I don't really remember, like it's cool to see the show, but I have vivid memories of the making of those shows. So they become like these strange time capsules, if that makes sense.
And they're inextricably part of you. I mean, you said that some of the things that you and Shane talked about were some of the things that Rodney and Jeannie spoke about in McKay and Mrs. Miller. It's like, this is really like,
yeah. David just casually knowing the name of my brother. That's what I'm talking, David. You're just like
I will give you a difference. The difference is that the people that are actually involved in this are actual people that have love for the franchise. And I know, look, you the people that are working for Star Wars, the people that are working for Star Trek say that they love it and all of this kind of thing. But they've got no past experience with it, let's say. That's where the difference lies. Yeah, I knew you were going to bring up Dave Filoni. That could happen. This guy could become the Dave Filoni of fucking Stargate. I don't think so, but it could, absolutely.
Deep cuts.
You're the store of all knowledge.
I just keep these things in my brain. I've been stalking you for years.
It's very impressive. Yeah.
David and I were talking before the show about what specific episodes we wanted to bring up if we were going to talk about Atlantis episodes that were not the big whiz-bang explosion finales.
Yeah.
And I picked McKay and Mrs. Miller because this episode, I love it so much. It touches me so much.
Yeah.
It's directed beautifully. The opening shots with the train, with the finger paint.
Yeah.
And it's got so many of those touching moments. I mean, I love the fact that this is you and your soul and your relationships out there on the page. But you've
I don't know
got
if I've seen that episode.
The POV character. You've got the cool sci-fi stuff with the alternate Rodney and the bridge. But then you've just got those beautiful moments like Rodney at the end trying to figure it out. Right? He's in Jeannie's quarters. He's trying to figure out the relationship. He doesn't know how to do this. He's willing to admit that he doesn't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And he just embraces her and says, "How are you? How have you been?
You happy?" Well, he's repeating her words. Yeah.
Yeah. Those get me still every time I watch the episode.
No, I got emotional just thinking about it. And and in classic Martin Garrow form, that episode had so many more visual effects than we initially intended. You know, like all of those split screens became so much more complicated. And Mark Savella and their team, the team that we had, just did, you know, like even the over the shoulder shots are split screen shots because you could kind of tell that the double wasn't David. And so like, Martin Wood did such an amazing job with all of those. You know, I watched it, I think last year, and there's some of the like handoff twin stuff is like just incredible. Like it's just like, it's really great.
I'm really excited to see, you know, what they can do with that now today, just with the advent of so much of our technology since then. You and I, my connection with you really, I guess, centers around a film called Elephant. And the episode that was born from that.
Sunday? Well, there goes all the goodwill.
So
there it goes.
Don't you want to do duet first?
Let's talk about Sunday.
We did that one. Darren got to share his favorite, and Sunday is mine. Damn it.
Okay, Sunday's your favorite.
It is. Well, it is. I mean, there is no. I would challenge anyone to come up with a greater ending than that. Pan back on Atlantis. Away from David. I love that episode for what it was, but I also love it because we talked about that thing for a year before you shot it. Like you were trying to. You were like, I have this idea for a day off episode, but nothing happens on a day off. Like, what do you do?
I remember this. Yeah, we were in your office, and you said, I want to do an episode basically about nothing. Right? Just a day off.
Yeah.
And what's the action be? There isn't one, and they wouldn't go for it.
But the structure
probably rightfully didn't go for it. But that was the joy. I mean, like again, like the privilege of.
Well, see, that's sort of what I was saying earlier. Even just doing an episode of a day off, and some things happen. it's character building, yeah. Like, you know, the episode in SG1 where they're going through the time loop. I think I talked about this before. But like, you know, they're going through the Groundhog Day stuff. Like that, honestly, I don't think that there's any relevance to that episode later on. Is there a reference to that episode later on? Possibly in regards to the time dilation shit. Maybe. But despite that, the character stuff, you know, you get some comedic moments during my backswing, you know, mentioning to Teal'c, oh, how far away is this planet that we're shooting golf balls through the fucking Stargate to? Oh, a couple of billion light years or whatever. And he's like, oh, it's got to be some kind of record. Fucking handing in his resignation so he can make out with Sam. Like all of these things, like it's just character work. There's no importance to it other than learning more about the characters. It's probably the same with this episode. I don't know if I've seen it or not. I've only watched through, like I said, the first half basically of Atlantis once.
30 episodes a year is on a show that had already done 100 and whatever, you know, is that like there was no cookie cutter. Like there was a cookie cutter type of episode, but Rob,
It
Brad,
is a great episode,
you know, Joe and Paul were trying to figure out
Window of Opportunity. Is that what the episode's called?
Thing that we couldn't do, you know, like what's a new story that we haven't told. And so like the ability to take these big swings, almost like dare-based episodes, you know, where you're just like, you know, I was like, I don't know, can I write an episode that's like just McKay? Like, is there how do I do a whole episode that's just McKay? And you realize, oh, you can't really, but we got close.
In the smallest set possible.
And the smallest set that we have, like what's you know. And so yeah, you're right. Yeah, Sunday was me just being like, the one thing that was similar with every episode is like every episode was like, well, we're all gonna die, and then it was like, oh no, we're fine. And so I was just like, oh, they're so, you know, one of my favorite moments, just to go back to McKay and Mrs. Miller, is just the look that the team gives each other, because they like clearly love Rod, right? Like Rod is so great, and McKay is so jealous of how tight he's gotten with everyone. And then so when Rod has gone back and Jeannie's gone back, you know, McKay goes up to the table, you know, again where they're all kind of having whatever snacks or meals or whatever, and they're like, oh, thank God Rod's out of here. Like we that guy was annoying. Like we hated that guy, and he's so relieved. And they just give each other the littlest look of just like, I can't believe he bought that, but like whatever.
making our
exactly. And so like those little moments that you were reserved for like the beginning and endings of episodes, sometimes I just wanted to live in more. I wanted to, like, even at that point, was just like trying to live into character stuff in a less pressurized way. So that's, sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, but that's the where I think that was the instinct for the day off episode, where that's where character comes in, you know, where you have the smaller beats. No one is better at putting two people in a room together and just making fireworks and dialogue than Brad Wright. You know, he's such a playwright, and that's the DNA of what, you know, you were raised out of. It only makes sense.
100%. Yeah.
Darren, do you have questions in your live
I
stream?
wonder if we're going to see, I wonder if there's the possibility of getting a cameo from Jonas. That'd be cool. I actually really like Jonas Quinn. Really like him. You know, obviously, when Daniel leaves, he comes in. At first, it was like, I remember the first time I ever watched it, and the first time, you know, obviously ever seeing all of this go down, I was like, it's not going to be the same without Daniel and everything. And then it's kind of crazy, because when you get to the point where Daniel comes back, it's kind of like, oh, I really like fucking Jonas. Like, you've really gotten to like him. And it's funny, he's always trying to get Jack's approval, you know, because he feels responsible for the death of Daniel. And the funny thing is that Jack actually doesn't necessarily hold Jonas, you know, accountable. He actually holds Daniel accountable for leaving them and not fighting anymore, even though he was going to fucking die. And the only chance really that he had was to ascend. So I hope we get a Jonas Quinn cameo somewhere. And again, I hope it's meaningful. Because, like, even later on, after Jonas leaves, there's obviously that whole thing that happens with his planet again, and he comes back. Is that when Anubis shows up, or like, am I mixing up parts? I can't remember now. There's so much in that. But, you know, Jonas then comes back later. He's obviously a high-ranking person on his planet and everything. And yeah, it's relevant. It's important. It's meaningful. It was good to see him again.
I got them in mind.
Yeah, let me ask a question from one of the folks watching us live over on Gateworld and YouTube. Tonka U R3G wants to know, is the new show going to be on DVD Blu-ray? I think it was a big reason Stargate was able to survive because people could show their kids, get the DVDs from the library. It's another way for the show to continue to live on.
That's a great question. I actually don't know the answer to that. It's a great question, though.
Yeah. So, folks, just to establish, unless you're in the event that you're joining us late, there's only Martin's not going to be able to talk a lot about the new series. I may ask questions just to keep you guys from sending pitchforks my way later. But yeah, well, the big one that I have to ask about the new show, I have to ask. Sir Valheim must know: will any survivors from the explosion of the Furling's planet be featured in this show?
Yeah, I mean, that's not to give it all away. That is what the show's about. Absolutely. That was it. We were just like, let's just do a full Furling show. The Jim Henson Company is coming in. It's going to be really great. No, I'm of course kidding. Just importantly to say.
Yeah, stop that in that rumor right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Furlings don't feature in I can't say the Furlings.
Dude, don't say that. Fucking Daniel's one of my Daniel's arguably my favorite character. I like Michael Shanks. I mean, like, I don't really know him. I hope that like he's not too political or anything like that. He quit the show halfway through to go be a big star and fell on his face. Well, there you go. Then he came running back. That's okay. Oh, well, he tried. And it's fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you're only working on season 1. So, yeah. Darren?
I'm just
well, are we ready to go back a little farther? I want to know when you knew you wanted to be in entertainment. What brought that kid to?
You and Anna need to do a stream together and talk about Stargate together. We've been talking about doing that again. We'll probably, when the show does eventually come out, we'll probably try and set up a stream specifically for that, like breaking down the episodes or whatever. We've actually probably talked more about Stargate behind closed doors than we have like streaming, but no, there'll be plenty of opportunities. Hang tight, subscribe to here, subscribe obviously to Anna, and you know, you'll see it pop up. We'll get some stuff done together, no doubt. You're right though. Jonas is a much better character. Than who, Daniel? I don't necessarily think he was a much better character. He could definitely learn faster than Daniel, and Daniel could learn fucking quick. But fucking Jonas, man, loves it.
Bridge Studios in 2004.
Oh, geez.
What did he ask there?
Well, are we ready to go back a little farther? I want to know when you knew you wanted to be in entertainment. What brought that kid to Bridge Studios in 2004?
I don't really care.
Well, yeah, I wanted to do this
as bad
since,
as that
like,
might sound.
Truly, I mean, like I've had very supportive and nervous parents who showbiz. I don't know how we.
I'm sorry, I don't really care about that question.
With my,
I want questions about the show, whether or not he can answer them or not. I want those questions to be asked. Like, can we ask the question, what year is this going to take place in? Now, he doesn't even necessarily need to answer the question. He just needs to say, look, well, you know, it's always taken place in present day, so it's going to take place in present day, which would, you know, you would then assume that it takes place 10 years after the events of this or whatever. You know, and yes, the program's still been running in that time, so we've got to give people a catch up on that or whatever. And again, I don't know how much detail or whether or not he would be able to say any of that. Fuck off. Jonas was a Mary Sue.
You know, Star Wars toys. Since I was a kid, we had a janky ass video camera, and trying to figure out how to make those shots look cinematic with my 1/18 scale Star Wars figures. So I come by it honestly, and actually have now, and not in this room, but.
Oh, really? I didn't mind the Ascended stuff. you know, and people make the argument the ascended beings can fucking, you know, basically end all of this fucking corruption and death or whatever, blah 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 blah. And they don't. You could say the same thing about the Nox, and I will make an argument for both of them. Why it's fine and why it's okay that they don't interfere. Dr. Coffinails, how you doing? I'd just rather make that argument with someone that, like, you know, have the discussion so that we can bounce it off each other.
But I finally collected all of the Star Wars figures
I
because
need a
those
drink.
to
My
me were
mouth's
like my
getting so
first
dry.
cast. They were my first collaborators, and so it's like just nice to see them where I am now. I'm like, oh yeah, guys, look how far we've come. But yeah, so
Wheezy? No,
so, yeah,
I'm
I
Now you,
wanted
can
to
get
do
now you can get an Aquaman figure. And
No,
I used to
I'm
order you around
not.
for real.
Yeah,
Thank you, but no.
And no one orders Jason around. You gently ask. But yeah. So it was just something I've always wanted to do, and living, doing another Stargate show. So they need to hire one more writer, which is crazy. You know that they were doing essentially doubling the amount of episodes that they were going to do, and they're like, we at least need one more person.
I was shocked. I was shocked that they didn't staff up a whole,
You had the
show
alien
and did 40 the way that you guys did.
because I'm racist.
Yeah, but thank goodness they didn't. For me personally, and so you know, I pitched them 3 ideas. I think I read the way to get on staff was through freelance scripts, and so
Somebody asked a question there.
You know, back in those days, the way to get on staff was through freelance
Oh,
scripts.
no.
And so, you know, I pitched them 3
back in the day.
One of which was a very holy S. I was just $8,000. Like it was so much, you know, sent it in. And you come to Vancouver, and so I flew to Vancouver. And
why do I hate Nox, Ron? I just said I fucking love I like the Nox. I do not hate the Nox. The Nox are awesome. I was saying I will make the argument for them in regards to why they're pacifists, why they don't get involved, why they do what they do, and why it was a good thing to basically have that, especially for Skara's fucking trial. Like that's the thing. Like these things are made to be important, whether or not you think in the moment that it's important. More often than not, they find a way to make that episode important.
I mean, I think I was only there a day.
Wow.
I could be wrong. We just rebroke Childhood's End in a day, and characters, and I was like, "But we did it," and you know, it was interesting because not to turn a long story already long, but it was funny because like they all
I don't.
But you're good, and right, it totally was like, "Oh, this is nice." I was like, I'm very worried about the dialogue just because like I don't for sure get it, and so then
I could
Friday,
be missing some important stuff in here.
And I was off, and I kept my. You know, I was the show was yet. I just wrote what my best version of Stargate would be, if that makes sense. You know, because I also was working. They
the
liked
past.
It, and,
I don't want the past. I want the
It's
future.
a tone thing. If you can't capture your own tone that fits into theirs or replicate the tone that already exists, I mean, it can be amazing, an amazing piece of work, but it doesn't fit here. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like casting. Like I just tell actors always to be like the most themselves, honestly, because like we're looking for such a specific thing, and we'll know it when we see it, and there's no way to guess it. So like, just be the most you, and if it's you, it's going to be you. You know,
though you don't have to fake it if they get hired. If you get hired, you know, you have to be that thing first. Oh man, exactly. I have. I don't. So here's the thing. Irina SG. She wants to know if you can talk at all about Dean and Roland's involvement. Are they going to be joining you guys in the writers' room? What is their?
They won't be in the writers' room.
Okay.
They're involved, and yeah, no, they're.
That's another good thing.
Perfect. Darren,
I'm going to meet with Dean, I think, next week. So
okay,
that's a really good thing.
I'm trying to restrain myself. I'm trying to be good.
Marsha Middleton.
You can ask away. I just can't.
We're trying to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to keep putting you on spot.
And to everyone that's asking a bunch of questions about the new show, like totally fair. I'm so excited about it. Thank you for your questions. And just know that like you don't have to wait until the show's going to come out. Like we will be doing some more of these.
It's the whole point, Darren, is to not restrain yourself. Even if you already maybe even know the answer, whether or not he's told you behind closed doors, like, we can't talk about this. We can't talk about this. Might be what's happening, but we can't talk about it. We can't announce this, blah, 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 blah. For the sake of the audience, you need to fucking ask the questions. Honestly, I'm now starting to get sick of actually getting nothing. Yes, you've just announced it. Yes, it's literally at this point in time, just an announcement. But you've built a bit of excitement behind this to the point now where I do have questions. I want to know, you know, have you started thinking about the possibility of different enemies? You know, as fans, like I can think of the possibility of Gould coming back. We could, you know, are we still paying attention to the Ori? Again, I don't know exactly where we are in the universe, but these guys have clearly watched everything. Let's just ask the questions despite how we feel on whether or not we're going to get the answers. Let him, as the showrunner, say blatantly, there's nothing wrong with him saying this. Either I don't know, or I can't say anything about that. There is nothing wrong with him overtly and blatantly saying that.
And you know, we're planning to try to do some sort of quarterly update. Like we're going to stay in contact, and there will be like little bits will slowly come out. But like today is very nascent. Like we don't even have all the writers hired yet. You know, like it's. I just don't want to. I don't want to spoil anything, but I also don't want to say something that could also shift because the show is in kind of a fluid space.
Right. Well, then let me, because you mentioned something earlier, and I do want to clarify here. You said 10 episodes. Is that fixed or is that potential? You don't know for sure right now.
Oh, did I say 10 episodes?
Yes.
I mean, like, yes.
Everyone noticed.
Yeah.
Well, so it may not be fixed.
Maybe you mentioned it earlier in the stream because obviously this is a clip from the stream.
There's a lot
we can talk more about that at a later date.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, for sure.
So I'm sitting down here.
Talk more about that at a later date for sure. Okay, so he did happen to drop maybe then 10 episodes. He said that everybody paid attention. That must have been earlier in the stream. A slip up? Yeah, maybe it's just he slipped it up. But 10 episodes? I want more. I really do. I want more. At least 12. Anyway. Hates the space aliens in Stargate. What, like Jonas? I don't fucking hate Jonas. Tilk's awesome. Fucking the only real aliens that I don't like are the Gould and the Ori. And anyone else that's trying to be a fucking space Nazi, let's say. Didn't they already say they were going to do 10? Obviously, this 10 figure, they just mentioned it as well. That's the first time I'm hearing it, though. What about the Wraith? Oh, there's the Wraith, yes. The replicators got annihilated, didn't they? In the end? They got wiped out? I'm pretty sure they got wiped out. I think they got wiped out. Anyway, let's see how the poll went. Let me actually bring it up really quickly. Thank you again, everyone, for hanging out. That was it was all right. Again, I do want more info, but we'll have to sort of just wait and see, I guess. Be a little bit patient with Stargate. Oh, we're talking Stargate. Yes. How you doing, Big Phrase? I did see that you came back. All right, so your two nominees, you got Jacob number 1, you got Sawyer number 2. Did you get your votes in? Let's see. Oh, yeah, we got 23 people voted. We're going to end that poll there. Why is that not... Man, it's like I can still see Beta Bucks Deluxe Super Chat in the chat. It's like the chat has... Oh, there we go. It's just... All right, we're going to end the poll there because it's a complete landslide. So in last place, the runner-up, second place, last place, runner-up, whatever you want to call it, with 26% of the vote was Sawyer. And the winner for this week's, just in a heads-up little battle, with 74% of the vote, was J.I. Jacob. Congratulations, Jacob. You are this week's Seal of the Week once again. And that's the game. What? It's funny. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly did not think that I'd go for 2.5 hours today. With what I had, I was on the verge of canceling the stream because we didn't get the trailer for Supergirl, and that's what I was talking about all last night. see what this Supergirl trailer is like. See what happens with this. All right, so we are going to attempt to raid this week. I was watching Anna earlier today on Graham Nolan's channel. They were doing their Stargate stuff, and she showed Nolan how to do it, and we're going to try it. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. Beta Bucks Deluxe, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate the $10, the support. To the members, thank you for being members. I really appreciate all of you as well. To the lurkers and the rewatchers, I've always got to give Lara a shout out. She sends these super thanks through the comments, but she also just comments every week. Gives me a nice little novel to read. No, but I appreciate it and I love it, so don't stop. But yes, thank you everyone for being here. Thanks for your support. I'm hoping that I might be able to make the tail end of Flashcast, but we'll just have to wait and see how we go on the weekend. And stay tuned. I'm going to continue doing some Red Dead streams. We might even get another one done today. Well, again, it's just play it by ear and see if you get the notification. And then tomorrow, I've got to try and do these videos as well once I finish work for these trailers. So you can see my reaction to them. The problem is, the thing that I hate is I try and give you guys like a reaction based on not seeing it yet, like a live reaction to it, not where I've sat there and watched it and then I've got to fake a reaction. Like, not like that. I hate that shit. That's so stupid. But the hard thing is being at work and having access to Twitter and stuff and seeing like everybody post about it. Thing is like sometimes you'll see like the beginning part of the trailer. You just got to make sure that you scroll past it. So you ending it? Yeah, I'm ending it. We've been going 2.5 hours. We're going to raid Anna. She's still going with her stream. So how do I do this now? I copy the link, I'm pretty sure. And then we go over to here and we go redirect. Oh, it's there. All right. Save. That didn't end the stream yet, did it? Will it automatically do a redirect when I end the stream? I hope it does. All right. Hopefully that'll redirect you to Anna, that Star Wars girl. It's so funny. I go to the stream on YouTube. I have 0 likes. How dare you, chat? No, it's obviously not. Just fucking refreshed. Smash the like button. Thank you, everyone, again for being here. It was a good one. Fun stream. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more to talk about. We might end up talking about Doomsday and Supergirl. We'll see what happens. And yeah, thanks again. Now, where am I going? Fucking retarded. All right, bye, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt!
A few minutes? Are you kidding? At the rate they're gaining?
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like Dustin Crop's kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking it very cautiously.
You go away.
Bounce too near a super.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the movie. There's one scene that sticks out, and it probably sticks out for everybody, which is that, you know, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?